Hello to everyone. Thank you all for joining me at this time. My name is Shavi Zane, and I'm coming on to speak with the chosen. Okay, those of you who are the healers, the light workers, the teachers. I want to talk to you all about a part of my journey as being a chosen seed, as well as a dream that I had, and then I'm going to follow up by pulling some cards to, see where this message is taking us. So this message is in regards to those of you who are feeling the ebbs and flows of this spiritual journey that we are on as a collective, okay? I find that when we have these assignments as chosen seeds, whatever your assignment is, whatever it looks like for you, whether you're a healer through music, a healer using your hands, you're a speaker, you're a teacher, you're a motivator, whatever it is that you've been assigned to do, it can be a tedious journey at times, okay? My personal experience has been, especially for the past few days, I haven't done any videos for about 3 days because I literally went through an entire death and rebirth process, okay? And this is not my first time going through this. I have continuously gone through transformative experiences that, on the other side of that transformation, it grew me, because that's what we're here to do. We're here to evolve so that we can continue to help humanity to evolve. And so recently, I had a very short-term experience with someone who came into my life unexpectedly, uh, and I really just had conversation with this person, no face-to-face interaction, but this person really did awaken some wounds, okay, that I felt that I had addressed, but I found out that I had only put a little salve on it and maybe a band-aid, and I had not gone into the deep-rooted issues behind those wounds in order to really allow the healing process to take place. And so it was definitely transformative for me because it made me face some things that I had ignored, okay? And so for you all, you might find that, one part about being a chosen seed and having a purpose of being a healer, is that we have our times, we have our moments. Every day is not perfect, every day is not always completely balanced. Now, we possess the tools to balance things out, but we also have to understand that we have to go through more transformative processes than the average person. And so if you find yourself in a position where you may be down, or you may be in a stressful situation where you have you might feel like you're having a setback emotionally or spiritually, do not beat yourself up. See it as being an opportunity to evolve and to grow, and utilize the tools that you have been blessed with to heal and to nurture yourself back into alignment, okay? Because every person that comes into your life, whether they come in with a karmic energy or a healing energy, every person plays their role. Every person has a position, okay? And it's up to you to recognize what that position is. If they trigger you, because my personal experience was very triggering, okay? The person who came into my life, they had a personality that was very triggering, and it made me have to see, like, hold on, why am I so fixated on this person's opinion in regards to these specific subjects? And why am I so drawn into this type of energy? What is it that's going on within me? And when I kept asking the questions and kept seeking the answers were shown to me, and so was the wound. And so these are things that are necessary for us to go through as the chosen seed, in order for us to continue down our divine path and to continue to evolve as we do our work. Now, I did have a dream a few days ago, a few nights ago, and this dream, very short dream, I was actually I was inside of a living space. I don't know where I was at, but I knew it was not home, because my children and I, we were actually sleeping on the living room floor in this particular place, okay? And I remember going to sleep, and I was woken up out of my sleep, and I heard a lot of, like, a crumbling sound, okay? Like something was breaking around me. And I looked up, and the walls were literally starting to break down. Like, everything, it was breaking, okay? So this wall that was in front of me, it was breaking down. And so then I heard some more sounds. I looked back, the wall behind me was breaking down. And so I realized that the walls that was surrounding me was starting to crumble, starting to cave in. It was not a dangerous situation for me because I was just thinking to myself, like, wow, this is not the place that we need to be in. But I did ultimately, after that, I ended up in another part of my dream where we was actually, me and my children were at a restaurant. We was being serviced. We had all this great food, and we had all of these people that was bringing my children different stuffed animals and all different types of plushies and things like that. And they were so excited. And then I woke up, and this was actually prior to me. I say this was maybe a couple of days after I came into contact with this particular individual who triggered a lot of those inner wounds, or that particular inner wound that I had not fully addressed. And so I really feel that that dream was a large indicator that, okay, that wall that you have created, that thing that you have ignored, is finally getting ready to come down, and you need to be prepared for it. But even in your preparation for it, even in your healing, you're going to find that on the other side of that, you're going to be blessed, because it's not to harm you. It's not to cause you to have a setback, but it's actually a setup to move you and to propel you forward. So it is a catalyst to help propel you forward. So just know that for those of you who are on the path, you're on the journey, and you might find yourself being drawn to situations that are reopening, and you're like, well, I thought I healed from this, and why am I feeling this way? Why am I feeling down? Why am I going through this? Just know that as long as you maintain the vision, realize that you're going to always be transforming. The moment that you stop going through transformations is the moment that you might want to consider the fact that maybe, your time is almost up here, okay? Because we're here to evolve. And so we're going to constantly be going through transformative events that's going to allow us to heal even further, okay? So let's just consider when you have a wound. We're going to talk about the physical analogy of having a wound, right? You have to nurture that thing every day. When I was working as a registered nurse, having those patients who might have been bedridden for a number of months, and they end up with that big gaping wound, around their sacral area, and you got to go in and you got to nurture that thing every single day, or at least every few days. You got to make sure that you put a certain amount of attention and, direct attention to that wound. You can't just put some salve on it one time and cover it up and assume that it's going to actually heal. Okay, it's a process. It is a process that you have to go through in order for the wounds to actually heal. And so on a spiritual level, when you have wounds, we're not just talking about wounds that you got in this lifetime. We're talking about wounds that have been carried over from lifetimes prior to this one. We're talking about generational wounds that have been carried over from lifetimes prior to this one. You as the chosen are the generational curse breaker. So consider that when you have to face those wounds, it's not just a one-time hit or quit type thing. We're talking about different scenarios that will come in to trigger and to awaken you and to say, okay, well, wait a minute now. You haven't fully healed from this because you see what it's doing to you. Do you see how it's affecting you? Do you see how it's, you feel like it's taking you backwards? You feel like it's bringing you back down, but it's only being done to help to heal you and to expedite, or to at least get you to see the importance of putting in the effort to heal this wound, to address this wound, okay? So let's get right into what might come out in terms of the cards here. So what I have coming out first here is, let's see. Okay. We're talking about the color black here, okay? Cosmic energy, okay? Many of you as melanated beings. Everything beginning from the source, okay? From the source, from that dark space. And it also represents that energy of going within, looking deep, okay? looking deep into those areas that have been hidden, where you need to shine the light on those areas where it's like one of those dark places, okay? So let me see what else is coming out here. Okay. So yes, you're being called to expand. Expand in your understanding of who you are, what you were sent here to do, and to see it from a much higher perspective, okay? Um, really step outside the matrix on this situation. So if you find yourself currently in a position where you're having to go back and you feel like you're having a setback emotionally or spiritually, just know that you're being called to expand your wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and that's what this situation is being placed in your life to do, okay? To help you to address that thing which has been hidden in the darkness, and to expand your understanding of why it's being brought to the forefront at this time. So then we have here, okay, this is the energy of like the hermit type of energy, going within and doing that work, okay? Shining the light on those dark areas and getting that expansive wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. So this is just reiterating that same thing, okay? Stepping into a higher level of consciousness and seeing it from a higher, from an expanded point of view, being the eagle and rising way above your circumstances so that you can look down and see it from that higher perspective. And so the only way that you can do that is to step outside of your emotions for a minute, because one thing about these wounds is that you can end up getting very drawn into the pain of that wound, okay? You can get very caught up in how that wound feels and putting less focus and emphasis on the fact that you have the tools and the necessary, what it takes to heal that wound. Okay, you have the tools and what is necessary, all of the tools that you need to heal that wound. But if you are overly focused on the pain, then you will not be in a position to do the work to heal the wound, okay? Because it's going to take all of your faculties, everything that you possess, mentally, spiritually, and physically, to address the wounds. Your thought process has to shift. The way that you feel about yourself has to shift. The way that you see the actual wound has to shift. And so you're being called to bring all of those things together to address this, to expand the way that you see this situation, okay? Let's see what else is coming out. Yes, balance. We're talking about balancing the scales here. And also recognizing, again, I tell you all the time that we are spirits having a human experience. And so when you keep that at the forefront of every circumstance that comes into your life, then you recognize that everything is called in, everything is sent for a reason. And so keep that at the forefront of your mind when it comes to your healing process. You have receptivity here. So you're being called to be more receptive to the messages that are coming in. And the only way that you can do this is by freeing yourself up of all of that toxic energy so that you can be more transparent to receive the messages that are being that you're being called to gain as a chosen seed. So this is also about that energy of surrendering to the changes that are happening. And this water in this picture also indicates balancing out your emotions, because water deals with emotions. Balancing out your emotions at this time is very important, okay? Okay, you have the schizophrenia card. This is all about, you might be in that energy where it's like you don't understand why your mind is in such shambles. You don't understand why you feel like you don't have control over your current situation. But the whole point is to not try to control the situation, to release yourself, to set yourself free, and to allow yourself to fall, but trust the process as you are, because I told you, you got to rise way above your circumstances to see it from a spiritual perspective in order to actually heal the wound. And so here you are way up here, okay? And it can be scary up there seeing it from that perspective. But you're being called to surrender, to free your hands. Don't hold on in that energy. Free your hands of the situation and allow yourself to just be, because when you release, you have to know that you're going to fall. You're not going to fall in a way where you harm yourself. You're going to fall in a way where you're protected. Okay, you're safe. So in that energy of rising above your circumstances, yeah, because see, you've been suppressing so much. It's been so much that has been building up, and this is that wound that I was telling you about. It's actually building its own blood supply because it's been so long that you have suppressed this energy and that you have not addressed it. You have not released it. And so this could be detrimental to the wound itself if it's something that is not addressed, okay? And so this is why the situation is being highlighted in your life right now, because it's time for you to go ahead and do the work so that you can bring this to a completion with the number 10 here. And so this is really going to open you up, yeah, to your gifts. I was just getting ready to say this is going to open you up to your gifts, your creativity, because it was blocked for a time. Your creativity, you might be in your purpose, you might be doing your life's calling, okay? What you was placed here to do, but it's not to its fullest potential because you had unhealed wounds that still had not been addressed. And so this is why you have these things happening, so that you could step fully into your creative nature and do it from a space of transparency, authenticity, where you recognize that you are one and that you are connected to all things that exist around you. And so you are always safe. And again, this is another reminder with her being so transparent in this picture that we are spirits having a human experience. And so we are not separate from anything. And this is why it's so important to go with the flow. Go with the cycles of life, okay? So the burden is coming out here. This could definitely be that energy of those people that come around, or even that energy that comes around. This could be from within you or from people that are actually in your environment, who come in, who see that you are moving down your divine path. And so they come in as the catalyst. They don't recognize that they're coming in as the catalyst that's actually going to propel you to your evolution and help you to continue to grow and to go down your life's purpose. They feel that they're coming in to bring you backwards. That's their goal. But because you are chosen, they do not have the only power that they possess is the power that you give them, okay? And so these people, they're looking for that crack. They're looking for that crevice. And they're looking to come in to reopen those wounds. And that's what they do. The burden, they come in with that negative energy, that karmic energy, and they trigger. They open those wounds, but it gives you the prime opportunity to be the alchemist, okay? To transform and to transmute that energy and to say, okay, I recognize that it's painful. So because I feel pain, that must mean that there is a wound somewhere that needs to be addressed. So let me find out what it is. Let me get to the bottom of it. Let me utilize the tools that I've been blessed with to heal it so that I can continue to evolve and to do my life's work, okay? So then this is what's happening as a result of what you're doing. With intensity, you're coming out of that dark space. With intensity, you're moving towards the light. With intensity, your spirit, the spiritual being that you are, is moving down your divine path. Like I told you, these people come in thinking that they're trying to bring you backwards with them, but they become an actual catalyst that catapults you towards your divine path and out of that dark energy. And so rather than, seeing them as being someone, don't hold any grudges against these people. Don't hold any bitterness in your heart, because that will stop you. That will slow down your path. See them as being the catalyst. If they're able to trigger you in that way to where you might find yourself sitting in an energy that feels like depression, or that feels like, you're going backwards in your spiritual path, just know that they did their work. They did their job. And that now it's time for you to do yours. Because as a healer, you have to know that you need to know that you first put the mask on yourself. Like in an airplane, if it starts to go down, you got to first preserve your own oxygen before you can actually help someone else that's next to you. So this is what you're being called to do. You are a healer to humanity. And as a healer to humanity, you have to first be the healer to yourself, okay? You have to first be your own physician, your own practitioner. And so that's what you're being called to do. I'm going to pull one more card from this deck. You have here friendliness coming out. And so these people, this could be someone from your past who might have been a catalyst in your past, and you might still have wounds left in terms of maybe some unforgiveness or whatever the case may be. But you're being called to allow yourself to get back balanced again, okay? And to step back into that loving nature that you naturally possess. And whether it's received or not, you still want to function as, you know, being in your authentic nature. You don't want anybody to get you off balance to where you're matching their energy. What you do as the co-creator of your life is that you project the energy where they have to level up to where you're at. And if they can't do that, then you know that you just have to make some cuts. But what you don't do is bring yourself down to their level and match their energy, because that's going to take you backwards, and then it's going to postpone your forward movement. But like I said, they've been catalysts to push you forward. So let's see what else is coming out here, and then I'm going to close out. I'll take these 4 cards. It says you need to detox your vessel mentally. So yes, that will be dealing with if you're having any emotions that have you weighed down, any toxic thoughts, any self-loathing, or any insecurities. You're being called now to address those things so that you can purge them and do a reset, a mental reset. Okay. Then you have here, you have overcome the most chaotic moments of your life, and now there are new beginnings. So that reminds me of the dream that I had in terms of the walls coming down, but the new beginning consisted of, you know, a feast and gifts, okay, and happiness and laughter and celebration. And so then we're going to move into, let's see, your gift is being born within you right now, so nurture it. So this is all about nurturing yourself, okay, because you have a gift, you have a powerful gift, so you have to continue to nurture yourself, nurture those wounds so that you can move into that creative nature, okay, and to do your divine purpose, to do what you was called here to do. That's actually going to not just balance out yourself, but balance out the elements that exist around you, to balance out other people, to be healing to other people, okay? So you have here nurture those gifts, okay? And then you have here, you are not inferior to anyone. So you might have people that came in and maybe your trigger was something that made you feel like you was inferior. Maybe it brought up some of those insecurities that you might have carried through from childhood into adulthood. But this is where you're being called to recognize that you are not inferior to anyone. Okay? It doesn't matter what gifts they possess. It doesn't matter how they look. It doesn't matter what their status is. How much money they have. You are not inferior to anyone because you have a divine purpose and a divine calling. And so you have to recognize these things about yourself and have an appreciation for your uniqueness, okay? And the fact that you've been given a divine path and a purpose that's not just beneficial to you, but it's beneficial to the world. So that's what I have for you all. I hope this message resonated with you. Like I said, I really had to rebalance myself back out. So I'm definitely feeling more empowered now that I've been able to address my wound and to do the work to heal it. Okay. So I love you all. And if you desire a private reading from me, you can always email me. And I appreciate those of you who like and subscribe to my channel, especially when my messages resonate with you. And I'll talk to you all next time.